Hello yogis, Leith here. We're going to do a strong flow today. And when I sit with the idea of this practice, a certain sentence comes up for me and I want to play with this today. I give myself permission to move. I want you to repeat that to yourself. I give myself permission to move. And however that movement may look, it will reside within your yoga practice. And I think sometimes when we connect deep in to this idea of giving ourselves permission to move, to be motivated, the positive energy to fear is movement. The positive energy to fear is protection. So the idea that we choose to move is making our bodies stronger, is choosing to protect ourselves. So with all the fear surrounding us now, take some time to acknowledge that that fear is actually a very positive emotion. And as healthy people, we process that fear in order to create a sense of protection and movement. Begin to breathe. And notice the movement of your abdomen. Breathe all the way down into your abdomen. Maybe even place a hand on your belly. And notice as you inhale, your belly should expand out. And as you exhale, your belly should relax back in. And if this isn't happening for you, take on this practice. Expanding out as you inhale, and contracting as you inhale. And along with this movement is a slight pelvic movement. So take your hands to your pelvis, and as you inhale, notice your pelvis will slightly move forward. And as you relax your abdomen and exhale, your pelvis might tilt slightly back. So exaggerate this movement on the next 3 breaths. Inhale, pelvic tilt a little bit forward. Exhale, lift your frontal hip bones up. Can you feel that movement in your lumbar spine? And it's important to acknowledge that when you breathe, we have multiple diaphragms through our body, which all expand and contract. And if the energy in your body gets stuck anywhere, it affects the entire body. So as we're focusing on our pelvis, we're actually allowing the breath to shift multiple diaphragms in our body and hopefully open us up to the idea of movement. Gather your hands at your heart. Let's begin our flow practice today by singing one Om. Inhale. Your eyelids open. Find your way onto all fours. Set my cushion aside. Hands on the mat, knees on the mat. Just start to think about that idea of movement as you inhale, draw your heart forward, and start to bring this movement as you exhale up towards your upper spine. As you inhale, can you feel your upper chest expand? And as you exhale, can you feel the back side of your chest and your belly contract? I'll say that again. Inhale, draw your heart forward, upper chest expands. Exhale, relax the abdomen, drop your tailbone, and allow everything to go as you drop your tailbone. Observe the movement of your upper back in relation to the movement of your pelvis. Now, what if you really pressed your feet into the floor? How does that affect this movement? Return to neutral. Flip your hands around. And from here, you're welcome to cat-cow tilt. Always remembering to open on the inhale and close on the exhale. Inviting your body to move towards this natural rhythm of your breath. And if your forearms are very tight, you may want to rock forward and back. A few of you may discover that you'd like to play with the Adho Mukha Svanasana with your hands reversed. Might be early in the practice for you for this. Walk your hands about 3 inches forward of your shoulders, tuck your toes, press your weight towards your feet as you shift back downward facing dog. Allow your spine to grow long. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. If you currently have an Ujjayi practice, begin to engage that breath. Inhale, shift into plank pose and breathe. Push out through your fingertips. Press out through your heels. Reach the crown of your head forward. Can you find something good about this pose? Breathe. Can you start to feel a fire in your side waist as you draw your side waist in? Spin your inner thighs up, brush your buttock flush towards your heels. Keep moving the crown of your head forward. Breathe. Shift up and back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet to touch, knees to touch. Drop your knees to the mat, point your toes, and shift back into a modern version of child's pose. Allow your tailbone to drop down towards your heels. Bring your hands by your sides and feel your shoulders melt towards the floor. Now, can you encourage that curve in your spine, creating a C-shaped curve as you again move the breath in towards your abdomen, and allow your abdomen to rest and relax as you exhale. Now move that breath towards your upper back, upper spine. Feel it expand on the inhale and gently contract on the exhale. Walk your hands forward. Shift back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale back to plank. And exhale, lower all the way to your abdomen. Point your toes. Reach your fingertips back behind you and inhale, gentle Shalabhasana. Thighs lift, toes lift, heart moves forward. Now notice, as you do this, can you spin your inner thighs up? So your glutes are engaged, but they're not squeezing together or gripping. Can you feel the difference? And exhale, release. So let's play with this a little bit. Interlace your hands behind your back, dig around between your tailbone. Now double check that your glutes are relaxed, right? You can feel that. You're lying on your belly. Now from here, as you start to engage, notice when you grip them, your legs will want to turn out. Do you see what's happening with my legs? Now if you spin your inner thighs up, keep spinning your inner thighs up, you can actually lift your legs, toes pressed together, and you'll find that you actually engage on the upper glute. The lower glute is not squeezing towards the center line. Now from there, add your heart as you move forward. And then notice that breath. This time, bring the breath only up into your chest as the belly draws in. Bend your elbows, press your palms into the floor, and inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, shift over your toes, downward facing dog. Breathe. As you wait here in your down dog, allow your outer arms to hug in as your inner arms rotate forward. Inhale, move your spine long. Exhale, move your thighs back. Inhale, create more length in your spine. Exhale, press your thighs further back. Inhale, plank. Shift your heart way forward. Now lower halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana. Pause. Feel your side waist lift in this pose. Hang out here. Shoulders go no lower than your elbows. Press out through your fingertips. Reach the crown of your head forward. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale, reach your right leg towards the sky. Bend your right knee. Make circles with that knee. Maybe make circles with your ankle. Now take a big, deep inhale. And on your exhale, draw that right knee to touch your right elbow. Come back to center. And release the foot. Try the left side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend the knee. Open your knee up towards the ceiling. Give it a little stretch. Make little circles. Do what feels good with your ankle. And now from here, create lots of length. And on your exhale, draw that knee to touch your elbow. And inhale, come back. And release your foot. Walk your hands back towards your toes. Uttanasana, forward fold. Nod your head yes, shake it no. Release any tension in your neck and your shoulders. Exhale, hands to hips. And inhale, rise to stand. Take a stroll to the front of your mat. And together, let's practice 5 A's. And then we're going to move straight into 3 B's. I'm going to talk you through the first one in each round and then set you free for your next 4. Here we go. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at your hips. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step or float wisely, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. 5 breaths minimum. At the base of your 5th breath, lift your heels, bend your knees. Jump or walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, heart moves forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, hands to your heart. 4 more at your own pace. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look forward. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, warrior 1, back heel spins, right leg steps. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg steps, back heel spins. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Rise to stand. Hands to your heart. 2 more rounds on your own. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Down dog. Warrior 1, breathe in. Chaturanga, breathe out. Breathe in, up dog. Breathe out, down dog. Left side, warrior 1. Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands by your sides. One more round. Inhale, exhale. Vrksasana, tree pose. Right heel, inner thigh, inner groin. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Take a moment to notice there's movement in this pose. Allow it. Allow yourself to wave and move with the undulations of the balance. Hands to your heart. Point your knee forward, lengthen your leg straight out in front of you, and release your foot. Other side. Left heel, inner thigh, inner groin. Sweep your arms out and up. Be with the movement. Notice if you have a story about needing to be still in your balance. If that's true for you and you're very still right now, create movement. It might make you fall down. Wouldn't that be fun? Point your knee towards the front of the room. Lengthen your leg straight out in front of you. Release your foot. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Spin your back heel to the earth. Step your right foot forward. Rise up. Warrior one. Hands to your heart. Shimmy your front heel over. Open up for warrior two. Go right into Parshva Konasana, side angle pose. Your favorite version. Your right hand can be on a block, on the floor, or your forearm can be on your thigh. And breathe. Come back up, warrior two. Press your front leg to straight. Parallel your feet. Hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, reach the crown of your head towards the mat. For this one, keep your feet glued to the floor. And breathe. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, rise to stand. Deeply bend your right knee. Rotate back. Return to warrior two. Rotate your right palm towards the ceiling. Inhale, long side stretch. And exhale, cartwheel all the way down. Step back for an easy vinyasa, or feel free to go straight into down dog if you prefer. Left side. Step your left foot forward, back heel spins. Cartwheel up, warrior two. Right into your side angle pose and breathe. Return to warrior two. Press your front leg to straight, parallel your feet. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold. Prasarita Padottanasana A. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, crown of your head to the floor. And those of you who have a Sirsasana C practice, feel free to pike up and breathe. Allow your feet to return back down to the mat. Very, very slowly. Everyone inhale, long spine. Exhale, hands to your hips. And inhale, rise to stand. Deeply bend your left knee, return to that warrior two. Inhale, nice long side stretch. And exhale, cartwheel all the way down, step back. Simple vinyasa. At the base of your next exhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, jump your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Rise to stand. Release your hands by your sides. Step to the front of your mat. Toes touch. Heels slightly apart. String attached to your tailbone all the way moving up through the crown of your head. Lift and lengthen through your side waist. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Look up. Rise to your tippy toes. Lift and lengthen, and then slowly, slowly lower to a tippy toe squat. Take your time. Once you've arrived in that tippy toe squat, separate your knees. Bring your hands as close to your feet as you can get them. Arch your spine like that child's pose we started with and come into your Bakasana crow pose. Shift your weight far forward into your fingertips and shoot your legs back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot to touch your right thumb. Make sure your feet are hips width distance apart and inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge. Take a moment here. Zip up your low belly. Hug your outer right hip in. Lift and lengthen. Sweep your fingertips back behind you. Really hug in here and launch your heart forward, warrior three. Long spine. Make sure your right hip is no higher than your left hip. Right? So your left hip might want to raise up like so. You'll feel this in your low back. If you're feeling in your low back, lift through your low belly and keep lengthening. I'm hitting a wall, so I'm not going to. But reach your arms straight forward. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, pumps to the floor. Lift your back leg up, drop your head. Lift your back leg up. From that inseam, lift that back leg up. Now from here, press your palms down, rise to your tippy toes, and maybe hop up for a bit of a handstand here. and drop down. Easy vinyasa. Hopefully you'll be more graceful than me. And if you're not handstanding today, 3 little hops back for a vinyasa works great as well. And breathe. Step your left heel where your left thumb is. Stay on your back tippy toes to rise up for this crescent lunge. Hug in this outer hip. Take a moment here to experience your psoas, your front hip flexor of the back leg. Zip up through your low belly. Maybe bend the back knee and notice how that shifts your pelvis. Don't be afraid to move. Lift and lengthen. Lift your entire rib cage up. Find that length. Sweep your fingertips back behind you. Shift your heart forward. Launch into your warrior 3. I'm not going to hit the wall. Now from here, right hip might want to raise higher than the left. Don't permit that. Find that lift through your side waist. Inseam of your back pant leg rolls up. Then find your length. Find your length. Reach long. Reach long. Keep lifting that leg from the inseam of the pant. Remember there's Shalabhasana at the beginning of the practice. Palms come to the floor. Drop your head. Notice, are you trying to externally rotate to get your leg higher? Resist that urge. Find the stronger position. Hands to the floor, push the floor away. If you're handstanding, press your way up. Have a little fun. If you're not, 3 little hops. Little vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Step your right heel where your right thumb is. Bring your right hand to the big toe side edge of your foot. Drop your back knee to the mat. And maybe drop down onto your forearms. See how this feels. Breathe. I'm going to show you the next transition from the front. Okay? So from here, you're in your lizard lunge, hanging out. Checking in with that hip. Straighten your legs. Now just wiggle your foot across your body and arrive in pigeon, single pigeon. If your hips flop to the floor like mine do, you might consider putting a little lift underneath your right hip. If your hips don't flop to the floor, you might consider a lift. From here, gently forward fold and breathe. Now, in this forward fold, consider reaching back. I'll show you this from the side. Is this back, what's the back leg doing? Let's focus on that back leg, okay? Take your hand to your inner thigh, shimmy that inner thigh up. Tuck the back toes so that the leg is not externally rotated, remember? It's neutrally rotated. Internal thigh reaches up. Breathe. One more breath. Straighten your arms, tuck your back toes. Now listen, as you press your hands down, tuck your back toes under. See if you can slide your leg up and touch your toes, maybe to your left elbow. And step back, downward facing dog. Left side. Step your left foot to the pinky finger side edge of your hand or the thumb side and hop your hand around. Drop your back knee, lower down, and find your lizard pose. And breathe. Straighten your arms, wiggle your foot over. Now there should never be any sensation in your knees here. If there are, by all means, please flip onto your back. Do the same pose this way. But for those of us who have no sensation in our knees, stick with me. Spin your inner thigh up as you fold forward. And breathe. And as we finish up our last 3 breaths, acknowledging that our transition is going to be looking for a little stability in the hip. For us bendy people who could fall asleep in this pose, consider the importance of really spending time exploring stability. All right? So straighten your arms. Tuck your back toes, lift your hips a little bit, and then see if you can get your knee and your ankle, your toes up to your elbow. Step back, downward facing dog. And breathe. Bend your knees, jump your feet forward. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. And exhale, hands to your heart. Jump your feet out nice and wide. Hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana A. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, crown of your head to the floor. For those of you with an easy Shirsasana practice, now's your moment. Take your feet into the air. For those of you who do not have an easy headstand practice, consider coming to a wall. Take the wide leg stance. Bring your head to the floor. Hands out in front of you. See that you can see them shoulder width distance apart, palms flat. Then you can bring one knee to your upper arm, second knee to your upper arm. Next transition begins bringing your knees together. Next transition begins bringing them up. Then play with bringing them back down again. Bringing them to the floor. And rise up, Prasarita Padottanasana. So rule A, tuck your shirt in. Those of you in the center of the room, same thing, but you're going to do it the opposite way. Inhale, long heart. Exhale, fold. Plant your head on the floor, rise to your tippy toes, and go ahead and pike your way up. From here, bend your knees. Tuck your knees in towards your chest. Knees come to your upper arms. Drop your hips and press into Bakasana. Not that hard, yeah? Now arch your spine and maybe return very, very slowly, careful of your neck, back to the headstand. Knees touch, legs to the sky, legs out wide. Return to Prasarita Padottanasana A. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, rise to stand, and shimmy or jump your feet back to the center of the mat. Take a breath. Easy vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Back heel spins. Right foot steps where your right thumb is. Rise up, warrior one. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, fold. Humble warrior. Breathe. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Step warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. And breathe. Maybe go down. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, lift your heels, bend your knees, jump your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Rise to stand. All right, flying pigeon. Lots of steps to this one. Cross your right heel across your left thigh. Okay. Take a moment here, just notice how this feels. If there's any tension in your knee, I do not recommend practicing this pose. Maybe this is more than enough for you. Or you're also welcome to return to the single pigeon, or return to the single pigeon with your lying on your back. For those of you playing, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, palms come to the floor. Now I'll show you on an angle here. You want to wrap your toes around your triceps, your upper arms. Your knee lands on your upper right arm. Press your palms into the floor. Shift your weight forward, see if you can pick your back foot up. Now from here, the back leg is that Shalabhasana leg as the inner thigh lifts. Bring it back down. Come back to your forward fold. And rise to stand. Give you a moment or two to play with that on your right side before we move into the left side. Easy breaths. Left side. Again, acknowledge it's okay to move in these balance poses. It's okay to find a little shift, or maybe even practice on one side the full pose, but notice my hips a little tighter on this side, and stop when it feels appropriate. Bend your standing leg, fold forward, wrap your toes around your upper arms, plant your hips shoulder width distance, and draw your elbows in. Your knee's going to rest on your left upper arm. From there you shift forward, and from there the back leg lengthens, if I can find it. And draw it back in. Come back to your forward fold. Hands to your hips. And rise to stand. Now it's your turn. See how it feels. Can you find that back bend leg when the inner thigh, or that warrior three leg? Remember, as we spun the inner thigh up on the back leg. You find the stability in the pigeon in your outer hips as you draw your femur bone in. It's that lift up sensation. How about the obliques to give you the lift? Are your neck and shoulders tight because you're doing it all from your arms? Can you soften around there and then instead find your bandhas? Breathe. And when you're done, stand at the front of the mat. Take a moment to congratulate yourself on choosing motion. That positive response to anything that's fearful. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Jump to your shins and sit on your heels, palms in your lap. A few moments here and allow your body to process the flying pigeon. Your eyelids open. Shimmy your hips over to the side and swing your legs around in front of you. And slowly roll down onto your back. On your back, sway your knees gently side to side. Side to side. So we're going to start with an easy bridge. Mindful that the bulk of this practice has been about forward folds, not a whole lot of back bending. So you're not going to go into your deepest back bend possible right away. I'm going to recommend we start with some easy bridges, maybe even some moving bridges, inhaling up and exhale down. Bring yourself back to your basics class and just remember how good this used to feel. How's it feel now? You know, so many of us, our bodies go, no, bigger back bends, please. But luxuriate in this gentle movement. And allow yourself to move. Allow your pelvis to shift. Notice when I rise up, do I grip my glutes or can I press my heels down, feel my inner thighs spin, and just allow my hips to lift and lengthen. Don't worry about the height. Two more. Go ahead and tuck your shoulders under, lift your hips, and come into an easy bridge. Inner thighs spin down, drop the butt just a centimeter, and then from your heels, press your hips up without gripping your butt cheeks together, without compressing that sacroiliac joint, that low back. Moving your heart towards your chin, allow your neck to release. Release your hands. Unwind your shoulders, release your hips, and sway your knees side to side. So you're absolutely welcome to stick with that back bend. For those of you who'd like to play with the Urdhva Dhanurasana, here we go. Flip your palms by your ears. Feet press into the floor. Move your hair out of the way if it's in the way. Lift your hips. Inner thigh spin down still. Okay? Go ahead and press through your feet to rise to the crown of your head. You recognize Sirsasana C here. Move your heart towards your elbows. Draw your elbows in and press through your feet to draw your arms towards straight. Breathe. See if you can move your breath to your upper chest. Chin to chest, and lower back down again, and sway your knees gently side to side. Try that again. This time less thinking, just jump right into it. Your body knows the rhythm. Take your time, press up, and when you arrive, think about creating more length through your sideways. So maybe bend your knees. Move your heart towards the front of your mat. Move your bum towards the backs of your knees. Press your heels down. How much weight is in your feet? Chin to chest. Lower all the way down. Sway your knees gently side to side. So we'll take one more. Just a quick reminder, if you do move anything while you're in the back bend, let it be your hands, not your feet. Feet stay stable and glued to the mat. If you do move your hands, play with the idea of how light can I get my hands? And if you have a practice to stand up and it feels right in your body, go for it. Just remember, we just did a whole lot of forward folds, so be mindful it may not feel right. Here we go. Third back bend. For third Urdhva. Play with the idea, can I walk my hands in? How does that feel? How much weight is in my feet? What if I thought about taking my hands off the floor? What would happen? Maybe you'd stand up. If you stood up, what if you lift your heart? Allow there to be movement in your pelvis here, right? But think up as you reach back and arrive back down. Chin to chest and lower back down. Gently sway your knees side to side, side to side. Feet firmly planted on the floor. Only when you're ready, when your body feels like the energy of the back bend has dissipated, hug your knees in towards your chest. Shimmy your hips off to the left and drop your knees to the right. Nice easy twist. Coming back towards center, feel your left side waist pull down as your right side waist pushes up. Shimmy your hips the other direction. And drop your knees this time to the right. Nice easy twist. Come back towards center. Shimmy your hips to neutral, send your feet towards the sky, spread your toes. Can you separate each individual toe? Big toe touches. Lift your heart, reach your hands towards the front of the room. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, drop the right leg a third of the way. Inhale. Exhale 2/3 of the way. Inhale. Exhale, hover. And inhale, draw it all the way back up. Other leg, exhale 1/3 of the way. 2/3 of the way. Hover. Draw it all the way back up. Maybe both legs, maybe one leg. Exhale 1/3 of the way. 2/3 of the way. Hover. Draw it all the way back up. Again, exhale 1/3 of the way. 2/3 of the way. Hover. Draw it all the way back up. Last round. Third of the way. One leg or two. 2/3 of the way. Hover. Draw it all the way back up. Second leg or last round. 1, 2, 3. Bring it all the way back up. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Plant your feet on the mat. Separate your feet about as wide as your mat, maybe a little wider. Drop your knees over to your right. Reach your left arm towards the sky. And let it go. Allow there to be lots of length through this side waist. Release your left arm, bring your knees up and over, drop your knees over to your left, reach your right arm up towards, up back behind you, lots of length on your right hand side, and breathe. Gently release, bring your knees back up towards center. Arms by your sides, lengthen your legs straight out in front of you. Shavasana. So on this video, I'm going to give you about a minute Shavasana. You are welcome to pause the video, and I recommend something around an 8 to 10 minute Shavasana. Take a deep inhale. With sound, let it go. Walk your feet in one at a time. Sway your knees side to side. Reach your arms up over your head. Roll to your right. Pressing your top hand into the floor, rise up and find your way into a comfortable cross-legged seated position with your eyes closed. Gathering your hands at your heart. Remind yourself that you are a miracle. And you are a gift. Namaste.